the biggest abuse of power scandal in American history. And as for Rod, well, he signed the last FISA warrant renewal. He's the one that sent the scope memo and appointed Robert Mueller. He approved the scope. And as Ted Cruz pointed out, Rosenstein may have been the deep state's perfect, useful idiot. Well, I think it's worse. Take a look.
On May 17th, you appointed Bob Mueller the special counsel. On June 29th, you signed the third FISA application. On August 2nd, you signed the second scope application. You came into a profoundly politicized world, and yet all of this was allowed to go forward under your leadership. That unfortunately leads to only two possible conclusions. Either that you were complicit in the wrongdoing, which I don't believe was the case, or that your performance of your duties was grossly negligent.
Senator Ted Cruz from Texas joins us. Senator, incompetent, complicit. He signed the last warrant. We know that the subsource of Steele debunked the dossier. We know Steele just didn't stand by his dossier. You know, warrants 1, 2, 3, and 4, premeditated fraud on a court. Then he knew that there was no need for Mueller's appointment. They did it anyway, Senator.
This was from day one a politicized, partisan targeting of the president, of his campaign, of his team, of General Flynn, of Carter Page. It was wrong. It was abusive. You know, take everything Richard Nixon did in office that was wrong, abusing power, and by any measure, what Barack Obama and Joe Biden did was much, much worse. And we know now it went all the way to the top at January 5th. Of 2017 in the Oval Office, Barack Obama and Joe Biden both there, signing off on, aware of the targeting of General Flynn, the incoming national security advisor. And this was the day after, January 4th, the FBI had concluded internally there was no basis to investigate or prosecute General Flynn because the evidence didn't back it up. But what Rod Rosenstein said today is essentially, do you ever watch Hogan's Heroes, Sean?
Yes, of course. Sergeant,
Sergeant Schultz, I see nothing, I hear nothing. That was Rod Rosenstein's defense today. Every element of, essentially, he signed the papers in front of him. He said he didn't read the FISA application. He said he kind of read it quickly, but not every word. And he just took the FBI's word for it. So the fact that you had an FBI lawyer fraudulently altering documents. He didn't ask any questions. The fact that the Steele dossier what had been completely repudiated by then, he didn't ask any questions. The fact that Strzok and Page were wildly partisan, and he knew that. He didn't ask any questions about that. The fact that the DNC paid for the ridiculous Steele dossier, he didn't ask those questions at all. Listen, the reason someone is put in a leadership position at the Department of Justice or the FBI is to lead. And that means if it has been corrupted and turned into a partisan weapon, you got to ask the hard questions. And sadly, what his testimony today is that he did not.
Senator, I don't have a lot of time. We will stay on this, and people need to know the magnitude of what unfolded today. I talked to a lot of military. Insurrection Act. These governors will not call up. It's their job, you're the attorney, to call in the National Guard and ask the president. Well, we have something called the posse comitatus as well. No military guy I know wants to confront the American people. So now we're forced to wait? Because I can't imagine they're saying, no, we don't want any help. Stay out. Quickly, the law.
The law is protect the people. The first line of defense is the police. The second line of defense is the National Guard. And finally, if need be, the military. But every politician shilling for Antifa and allowing rioting and looting and murder to go wrong is grossly violating his oath and his obligation to the people. We need to keep people safe and end the riots.
You did a phenomenal job along with Lindsey Graham today. Thank you for what you did, Senator.